So recently, the gameplay trailer for the day before released. I watched it, it was fine, I didn't think much of it. It came out, they had all of these problems. I think I've talked about this a little bit before with the whole copyright thing, but they finally released a gameplay trailer, and I wasn't too impressed. I wasn't going to talk about it. But in the past 4 days-ish that have passed, a couple of people, Jack Frags, people like that, have been making videos saying this game doesn't exist, which sounds like a crazy clickbait title. When I listen to some of the things that some of these people were saying, and then I go back and look at these trailers and actually look into it, it makes sense. Now, I'm not saying that I'm like a whole game developer, right? Like, I don't know the talk of the trade, and I can't make my own game, obviously. Like, I'm awful at that type of stuff. But I've played a lot of games, I've been playing them for a long time, and a lot of the stuff they're saying makes a lot of sense. So let me just walk you through the argument here for why the day before it doesn't exist. So something that I haven't seen too many people talk about in these videos is the UI, and that's something that I've actually picked up on a lot recently, on what just looks really bad and is too cluttered and what works better. It's something that I typically wouldn't pick up on, but as I've been playing and actually reviewing more and more things, I notice really bad and really good UI design. But anyways, let's talk about this trailer. So, this is probably the most bare bones and basic gun customizer you could take. I mean, there's no creativity. It's just like a semi-transparent workbench area with your 6 weapon slots, just like Call of Duty. I mean, if you know how to make any sort of base level game design, you could probably make this in 45 minutes or less. I mean, you just steal the parts from other places, because there's a million gun parts from a million different games, and you just slap together this gun screen, which you, again, can literally copy and paste from a million different games, and this just looks so bare bones. And if we go later into the trailer, let me show you another example. So this is the inventory screen they've managed to come up with. I'm not saying your inventory has to be incredibly complex. I mean, look at Cyberpunk or Tarkov or DayZ or Rust. I mean, they do essentially the same thing, right? Semi-transparent background with slots based on size, and I mean, Tarkov's and Cyberpunk's is a bit more upgraded and modern and sleek looking than this, but compared to Rust or DayZ, this is fine. It does what it needs to do. But here's my problem with this, the whole trailer, and especially the UI. Look at this inventory. Now let me show you the trailer from over a year ago and show you that inventory. So in this version, everything's a lot more compressed down. It has slots that are defined for each type of thing, whether it's clothing, your outerwear, your pants, your weapon, your backpack, your hat. All that stuff is tied to specific spots in the inventory. They have in-game components where you can interact and craft things. And that's just a lot of backwardsness for 1 year and not showing gameplay. Everything just leads to this game not existing. Listening to the intro to this video and tell me it doesn't sound like they typed a script out and hired a guy for $5 off of Fiverr to read this.
Trailer for The Day Before, an upcoming open-world multiplayer survival game. The Day Before features a huge, stunningly detailed post-apocalyptic world destroyed by a terrible virus.
Now, I'm not saying you have to get the highest quality level of voice actors, and I mean, that guy did fine. He did, I'm sure, what he got paid to do, but you think you just put something a bit more personal into a voiceover for a trailer for a game when it looks so similar to another game that was so just corporate and scummy, and you don't know what I'm talking about. Let's go talk about The Division. Now, aside from the HUD, tell me this is not the same exact game, visually. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole scandal with The Division and how this menu isn't how it works and how it uses this map within the world and you can't actually use that, and the graphical downgrade and the AI downgrade and all of that stuff. I'm not going to get into that, right? That's years and years and years in the past. It is what it is, right? If you want videos on that, that's out there. But for a game with a trailer, you know, a year or more before the official launch of the game that looked like this, obviously, like, that's smoke. That looks really fucking good even for now. That's not going to look like that when the game comes out, obviously. We've learned that now from this, from Anthem, from Rainbow Six Siege. All of these games, we've learned to expect downgrades. It's the sad truth of how this works. But a lot of the mechanics, a lot of that HUD, the abilities they're using, the way combat works, the way cover works, a lot of it is within the main game. While there is stuff that they added and kind of half-baked for this trailer, a lot of it also carries over. The problem with the day before trailer is that they don't do anything. They just walk, they shoot a couple zombies, they show you a little bit of the inventory, and that's it, which leads me to believe that there's nothing done. Now, I don't know if I've told the Anthem story before, officially on the channel. I might have referenced it here and there, but I've talked about Anthem. Anthem was a flop, blah, blah, blah. I've made reviews, I've made videos, blah, blah, blah. But all this stuff came out from Anthem about how they made the E3 trailer. That was the first thing they ever made of the entire game. There was nothing done. They worked on it for years. That was it. That was the first actual tangible thing they had for the game, was the E3 trailer, which, if you don't know how the whole cycle works, that's not good. And then they made the entire fucking game in like 16 months. The whole game. And that's why it was lacking and had all those problems that it had. So my problem with this game is this trailer just came out less than a month ago, and this game comes out like soon. This comes out in 9 months, and they shoot like 4 zombies in the trailer and show little to no inventory. I know more about the Call of Duty game that comes out this year that they haven't even announced and has been leaked. I know more about the Assassin's Creed game that comes out in 4 years than a game that they've made 3-4 trailers for and comes out at the end of this year. That's the problem with this game. That's why everyone is saying that this game just doesn't exist. They've shown so little, and they keep delaying things and making up excuses as to why they can't show gameplay. Now, for all the negativity I've talked, this game comes out and it's just like AAA, open world, DayZ, like, fantastic, right? 10 out of 10, I love it. Like, it is what it is. Now, the marketing for the game and the PR team and all that stuff, that wasn't great. But if the game's great, the game's great. Like, it is what it is. I'll give it its credit. But right now, I don't think this game's ever going to come out. It's been delayed so much that this isn't coming out. I don't believe that this game exists. I've been convinced. Now, maybe I'm just an idiot, and I've been pulled into this cult of people who just are idiots and have pieced together all this information that doesn't really exist. But from what I've seen, and my own research, as well as from what other people have put together and I've talked about here in this video, I would predict around midway into October, like right around Call of Duty's release date, this gets delayed to spring of 24, and then a couple more months go by and it gets delayed indefinitely. That's my guess. But you guys let me know what you think of this game, if you're excited for it, if you've never heard of it, because I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about it, if you think I'm just crazy, or if you agree with the points I've made here today.